Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio here. Thank you so much for joining me today on this lovely Saturday. It's the first Saturday of our spring. And I just wanted to come on and do a couple of little things with you real quick here. Let me see if I can pull it up on my Facebook page. And that way when you hop on, where is it? When you hop on, I'd love it if you'd say hi and tell me where you're watching from. There we go. I was thinking, oh no, am I on Original Pet Rocks? You never know. I could actually even be at the First Fruits Clubhouse. I just left there a few minutes ago. Anyway, what we did over there, I'll show you what we did at the First Fruits Clubhouse. Look at this, guys. Isn't this cute? We made butterflies from paper plates. Isn't that cute? Yeah, I thought that that was a great little craft. It was very, very easily made. One paper plate, two little craft sticks, some glue and tape, and you're on your way. Today I'm going to read something for you. We don't normally do anything like this, but I thought I read this, and it really kind of touched me today, and I wanted to read it to you. Now, this is from a book that's called 100 Days to Brave. It's Devotions for Unlocking Your Most Courageous Self. And it's by Annie F. Downs. And I'm just going through the book, and I really, really am enjoying it. It was recommended from another art friend of mine who was, she was reading in it and talking about it. And I thought, well, I'm very interested in that. I'm going to get it and check it out. And I just wanted to read just one of the days. It's 100 days. I'm going to read to you day 6. It's called The Lies That You Believe. It starts off with a devotional, which is just a quick paragraph from the Bible. And it says, "And the woman said to the serpent, 'We may not eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden. But God said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, and neither shall you touch it, lest you die.'" So the woman was talking to the serpent. We're talking about Genesis. The woman's talking to the serpent, and she says, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden. But God said, You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden, and neither shall you touch it, lest you will die." But the serpent said to the woman, "You will not surely die." Now that's Genesis 3:2 and 4. Eve was the first woman deceived by words, but not the last. God had said one thing, and Satan said another, and Eve fell for Satan's lies. Sin and shame entered our world, and Jesus paid for it with his life. See, you struggle to separate truth from lies is something that every human struggles with. It's hard to believe truth if your mind is flooded with confusion and false stories. And Satan is the one who's always trying to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's from John 10:10. Satan is a liar. I know you know that. But I want to say it again. He is a liar. He wants to define you and label you and stop you from being brave and doing the work that God has for you. When Satan lies to you, for instance, you've got 0 talent. You begin to swirl that thought around in your head. She's better at this job than I am. I am definitely the dumbest person in this office. Soon, lies to yourself lead to lies about others. Have you met that new office manager? Not very smart, that one. Because you're hurting and you're insecure. You hear a lie and you treat it like it's the truth. And it begins to define you like a label. And then you act out on that label. It's a vicious cycle that can be treated only by a heaping dose of truth, the real stuff. That's why I love the Bible. In his word, God has already given you all the labels you need. And that's how we learn to treat ourselves and each other. Friend, it's time to start listening, it's time to stop listening to Satan and his lies and the labels so that you can hear the truth that God wants you to hear. It's hard to believe the truth if your mind is flooded with confusion and false stories. To be brave, read the story of David and Goliath, 1 Samuel 17, and look at what some of the labels that other people gave David, and then you need to decide which ones were actually true. It's just a book full of days, 100 days of devotions like that, and it just gives you something to think about. It's really worth the time. Get it from the library. Think about it. Anyway, now let's get on with what we're doing today. I am going to take this vintage glass. Does anybody recognize this vintage glass? That's, I believe, if I remember correctly, a Folgers coffee jar with a screw-on lid. I found that while we were out kayaking, and I thought that would make a really pretty vase. Just the way that it's shaped. Now, it's got a little spot in it right there where it's been broke just a little bit, a little chunk right in it right there. But I'm not going to worry about that. What I am going to do, I'm going to get this book away from me because I don't want it anywhere near this Mod Podge. I am going to take my napkins and I'm going to decoupage some beautiful flowers onto this jar and make a beautiful vase with it. And I was looking at some stuff that some other people had done, and I saw that they are actually using the insides, these little pieces that we peel off, they're using them on this. So I'm going to try that too, and we're going to see how that works. I think it's going to be kind of wild. So what I need to do first is I'm going to peel the backs off. Very quick and simple. And then we're just going to take, now I've always just put these to the side. I've got tons of them all over the place. But we're just going to take it and just begin tearing it. And we're just going to tear it into pieces. Just sort of tearing it and ripping it. And we're going to be overlaying this on this glass jar. And it makes a really neat look when you get done. Or I hope it does anyway. We're going to see what it does when we get done, huh? Now, I know some people are like, oh, I wouldn't put that on that vintage jar. Well, I went to eBay to see if this kind of glass is really worth anything. And, well, it's about a $10 jar. And I'm not concerned with a $10 jar. I want to use it to make something pretty. And I'm just ripping this into pieces. Big pieces, little pieces, doesn't matter. Just making me a pile. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out the flowers that are on there. Okay, so now we've got that ripped up. I'm just going to put this off to the side here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut around some of the flowers. I'm going to kind of keep them in little groups, is what I'm going to do here. Make that one little group of flowers there. And I'm just going to cut around that. There's one little flower. this one. That one. Cut right in between those two. And I'm just going to trim off this edge here. Like that. Same with this one here. I'm going to trim off this purple edging on here. Maybe just cut around this and cut that off. Same with this right here. I'm just going to keep the flowers on the side here. About like, I'm just cutting out little pieces, you know, of the flowers to where I can use them. We'll make this one more around that way in different little spots. And I'm trying to just sort of round them off a little bit, although it doesn't really matter. I don't need them to be rounded in any sort of way at all. I'm just trying to cut the flowers out. And I don't know that that's going to be enough to do what I want to do. I may need more flowers. I may have to get another napkin going too here in a second. But we'll see. We'll see how this looks once we get going. So I think the first thing that we're going to do then is let me peel this off. And then I can just cut this purple edge off of here. How it's got this purple trim around it. Actually, why cut it? I need to rip the thing anyway, so let's just take our fingers and just go around the edge of it here and get this purple off. Just put that right there to the side. Right there. With these other little scrappies. And I'm just going to rip this too. Okay, that might be enough. Let's see where we're at this point. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time doing that stuff. It's already quarter after. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Mod Podge. Open my Mod Podge up. And I'm going to start right up here at the top. Just putting a layer of the Mod Podge on here. Get it nice and thick on there. All the little nooks and crannies. Woo, don't throw your pot, or don't throw your glass away. Be throwing it everywhere. Okay. You could do, I was thinking to myself, you could do this this would look really pretty if you took like one of those terracotta pots from the front porch. And you could do this to it and make it really pretty too. Okay, now I'm just going to take these pieces that I've ripped and I'm just going to start putting them on the glass. And I'm not going to be too worried about them on the top, and I'm not at all worried about if they wrinkle. That doesn't matter at all. That's a big piece. Let's put him on that way. Push that down, push this in. I'm just kind of getting it into the little nooks and crannies of it. I'm not worried about the top. I'm going to take my sanding block and sand off whatever's at the top up there. I'm just going to put a little more right in here. Problem with this is that what this Mod Podge gets on your fingers, and then the papers want to stick to you and not around this. And you're not worried about it getting all over all of it either, because you're going to be putting more Mod Podge on. So I'm going to take this and put it up that way. Over the top of it, we're going to add more Mod Podge. So we're just trying to get it to stick on there pretty good to start. Let's put you across this way. And we're not worried about it being smooth. We're not worried about it looking perfect. We're just pressing it into the Mod Podge. Just little bits and pieces, and we're overlapping it. Not worried about if there's Mod Podge covering that or not, because we're going to put more on the top of it, like I said. You want to try to make sure that there's paper over all the little areas. You can kind of see through when you don't have the paper in all the little spots. You'll see through it. Let's put a little more right in here. Just kind of put it right over the top of this. Might have to pull it off a little bit and put it back on, but that's all right. Okay. Grab me another little streaky piece here. I thought that was two pieces trying to hang on to me. You will see those little pieces that aren't covered. Like that's just a tiny, tiny spot that I can see. So I'm just going to lob some right there on the top of that. Stick that right in there. Now you don't want to make it real layered, but you want to have it layered over top of itself. And then we're just going to take more Mod Podge and just put it right on the top of it. Press down little spots that are sticking up. I'm just pressing it around, just working it around the outside, pressing it onto the glass. Because I want it to lay fairly flat, but I'm not worried about the wrinkles. if that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. I am not worried about the wrinkles, but I do want it to be kind of flat on here. I don't want it to have a lot of air underneath it, I guess is what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want it to be all bubbly. But I'm not worried about it being smooth. But I want it to be on the glass, not bubbly. Okay. And we're just going to keep working our way down and around the glass until we get near the bottom, and then we're going to start adding flowers to it. So we're just going to put these on. Might be a little easier now that I'm past that contour area that was really kind of crazy. Come here. Turn loose of me. Not that I truly expect it to turn loose of me because I'm all sticky now. Here, let me see if I use a pencil. No, that's not it. Maybe a paintbrush. There, that's much better. I'm just trying to get it into these little rings around here so it doesn't keep bubbling out of them, because it's like bubbling up off of them. So I'm pushing it down. Okay. Just put it on, put it on. You can kind of peel it right back off if you place it in the wrong spot, and it comes off pretty easily. Okay. Not that much. It's just sort of wrinkly and looks kind of cool. Okay, I need to put a piece right here in the front. I don't even know where the chipped area is now. It's missing. The missing chipped area. It's covered. I'm sure I could find it though if I look hard enough. Here, we don't want to put that there. We need to add more glue. Okay. Right now, this is a pretty funky looking craft, isn't it? It's like, what in the world is she doing? She's beginning to think, what in the world am I doing? Let me smooth you back down. Peel it off a little bit, push it back. It wanted to roll up under my brush. There we go. Okay. I might have to rip up some more. I don't know that there's going to be enough to get it all done there. Oh, wait a minute. That's 2. There we go. Put that right next to each other. Let's get you over here. there. Let's put you right in here. Right like that. Now it's starting to stick to itself even. I'm getting so much going around. Okay. You see it pull up as you go. Just take your fingers and press it back in. Just pressing it onto the glass. Push that down up there where it's sticking up. There we go. Get down here where we get the flowers to go, and it's going to look really cool. Turn it that way. I'm tapping it. If you can hear it, ting, 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 ting. Okay. I'm looking for ones that don't have a lot of that edging on them, where you can see the little dots pushed into it from where the perforator put the two pieces of napkin together. Okay. Although I've used most of those ripped up pieces already at this point. Here's one. I can get it to turn loose of itself. Here's one. Okay, maybe a little piece right here. Placed on top of that. Let's see, I can see a spot right here. Okay. Get a little more Mod Podge again and slop it on there. Big glob of it. I was just looking up to see what y'all was doing, if anybody was making a comment for me. I appreciate y'all being here. Hope you're enjoying this oddball craft that looks extremely different right now. I know it does. It's going to look really pretty when it dries. You'll be so surprised at how different this looks. Okay. Now I'm going to take my pretty flowers going to start adding them around the outside here. We're just going to put them in different directions and not be too concerned about it. I got a little piece of that purple on there. I can see it, but that's okay. We'll push that down a little further underneath. And a little on the top here. This big beautiful flower right here. Pull it up a little bit. Put this one on right here. Oh good, we have plenty. Let's put this one right like that. And then we've got one more really pretty piece. Let's see, where can we put it? Maybe I should divide it up a little bit. And we can make it kind of the same height here. We'll put, let's see, this right around here. Let me bring it over a little bit. Right around there like that. And then we've got this pretty one that we can, let's see, let's turn it. Just like that. And we've got another one of those that we'll put right here, just like this. Okay. I'm going to take my Mod Podge and just put it right on the top of the flowers. Just nice glob of it. I'm not worried about how much I'm using. I want to make sure it's got a nice coverage on it. And that it's going to stick real well. I might have to take my fingers and press down on it to get it to hang on to the jar properly. And when I'm done, we can take this and put some really pretty flowers in it. Or you could take those pretty little fairy lights and you could put those inside of it too if you wanted to. And that would look really pretty. Don't press too hard. You got to press very, very lightly, but you're still trying to get it on all of it. You want to make sure all of the little flowers have Mod Podge on them. Okay, let me see. Can I turn it? I have to turn my hand. Here we go. I'm just getting it all over. Trying to anyway. There you go. You can always take your finger and kind of push it back up if it's trying to roll under itself. Push it up a little bit and then push it back down. Sometimes it's just easier if you use your fingers. You definitely get a better sense of the feeling of it. What's actually adhering to the glass and what's bubbling up. You definitely can feel the bubbling up, and you can just press it down, make sure that you're getting the air out from under it so that it can stick to the glass. Push it down towards the bottom. Push it up into the white. Pushing this down, I can see it bubbling. Okay. Gotta get this side over here. Just putting a little pressure to it, pressing it onto the glass. I don't even have any Mod Podge right there. I just saw that. I'm still working on this one. He's wrinkly, which is fine, but I want it to be against the glass and not, I gotta push that air out. There we go. And right here we've got nothing. So let's just put a little bit more in this area. This is our back. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of tissue right here along the bottom. Some of the smaller pieces if I can get them. I want it to cover this little spot right there. There we go. Turn loose of me. Now we got to give this Mod Podge time to dry. That right there. Just slightly over the top of that. I'm just fancying it up there. Just putting a little bit around the bottom. Just to make sure that it's covered all the way down. Put that up just a little bit higher. curve it. All right. Okay, I think that it's covered. Did I pull it all the way off from right there? Let me pull it back. Or heck. Just add another little layer. It's not going to hurt it. Just put some Mod Podge on top of it and rub it on there. Okay. Now we got to wait for this to dry. I see a spot missing paper right there. See, once it starts drying, you can start seeing where you need to add just a little bit. Right there. Just gonna rip it because it doesn't need all that. That may need a little more right there though. Just spread it on. It's kind of a crackledy look to it. Okay, now where I have my paper cut right there in between my flowers, I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to lay that in there. Right in the middle of that area. Just sort of smush it in there. So that you don't see that edging on where the flowers were cut. Press these down. Okay, and now we're waiting for it to dry. Let's see, maybe we'll put this little ripped piece right here at the top of these two flowers. There we go. I think that's going to look pretty good. I got to wait on it to dry now. I need something to sit it on. Here, come here. Sit right there for a minute. Yeah, I think so. You can't really see it, I know. But once it dries... Hey, Carol. Hi, Steve. David's doing pretty good, actually. Thank you for asking. David is doing pretty good. We went over and had dinner with him, and he was up moving around pretty good. Kind of surprising me how well he's coming through with this. He's coming through with this really, really well. Surprising. But I mean, not that he doesn't usually. He's usually a healthy young man, so not like it surprises me that much. I'm thinking maybe I should put... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. Get rid of this stuff. And let's see, I might be able to put my Mod Podge brush up. I'm not sure. I'm still looking to see if everything's got a nice layer to it. Pretty much looks like it does. Right in there maybe, but I don't know. I think that's all right. I'm not going to worry about that. I think that looks okay. Right across the top of here, you can see that straight edge. So I'm going to take this. Oh, I even had another flower here. I didn't even see it. Can I maybe put you right in that area? Heck, you're never finished. Always something else I can add. There we go. Get that one on there. Push up the corner of it just a little bit. Press it in. There we go. Waiting on this to dry now so that we can see how it's gonna look. I think I need to put this in water. I need to put the lid on this. I'm trying to look around and see where I've got. Where did I put my string, my jute string? I think it's right here. Sorry, I'm right here, guys. Just stepped away for one moment. Nope, it's not where I thought I put it. Well, I've got pretty ribbon, but I don't want to put any ribbon on it yet. It's still too wet. I'm looking around for my string. I see it. Oh no, that's a trick. That's a trick. That's not it. That's not it. Well, here I am once again without everything I need. Where did I put that stuff? Here it is. Here it is. I'm going to keep these just in case I need to add a couple of little pieces to it here and there as it dries. And I'm going to take my jute. I'm going to use my little sanding block when that gets dry right there. I'm going to take the jute string. I might have to use my hot glue gun to do this. Not hot. I'm going to get my low temp. Here he is. Okay. I'm sorry. Here I am. One of these kind of days, y'all. I'm up running around doing 1,000 things, I guess. Plug this little hot temp gum in. My little gun. Give him a second. We're still waiting on all that to dry anyhow. I'm not going to cut that yet. I'll cut that in just a moment. I put my little sanding block, took it away. Right here it is. I'm just going to kind of touch this here and just sand across the top of it. just to get the extra off. Little raggities. I guess that makes sense though, huh? If I'm using all ripped up stuff, I'm gonna get little raggities. Okay, that looks pretty good along top. Okie dokie, are you hot yet? Well, I don't know that it's really going to get hot, is it? It's a low temp gun. It'll get hot enough in a second here. We're going to start wrapping. Which side am I going to call the back here? I think this is the back. I think that's the back right there. And this is the front. So we're going to call this the back. I'm going to start it right in the back here. Let's see. Not hot enough yet. It's not wanting to come out. You got to give it a second. Impatient, aren't I? There, now it's starting to come out. Okay. So then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put a glob of it right there. Stick that into there. And I'm going to see if I can just maybe bring this around here. I'm just going to work it all the way up if I can. Let me just put another little touch of the glue right there. Do a little more of it. Come on, Janet, get it to go around there. Put another little drop of glue right here. Just to make sure it's going to hold itself in place back here. Now it's got to go around that little ridge. Okay. How is it looking around the front? I can't tell. Let's do this. There. I'm going to turn it as I go and see how it's looking. I don't trust it. Yeah, it's not laying right. Okay. Okay, you. We're just going to do it more than once, then we're going to go around again. And again. And not make it just one even. We'll make it a few layers of it. I'm not worried about using any jute string. I want it to look covered. This way it's going to look covered. Here's the front. So let's put these down here. Here is this piece right here. Push this down. There. Gotta kind of pull it tighter. It doesn't want to stay. Oh, I jabbed it with my fingernail. I'm going to have a little spot right there now. I have to. I just jabbed it. Okay. That looks pretty well covered to me. Let me go back and find the back of it again. Okay. That needs pushed down right there. And brought around right here. Stop that. It's twisting around itself. Get it up. Right there. Y'all hear Coco out there carrying on? She enjoys barking at that neighbor. I don't know why. Okay. That's pulling that loose right there. We'll worry about that in a minute. We'll fix the bottom of it. Okay, so now this is what we got so far. I gotta fix this. But I got it sitting on that thing trying to work on it, and that makes it hard to work on. It's pulling the bottom of it off. But that's just extra, and we're just going to scratch it off. Waiting on it to dry. Yep. That looks pretty good all the way around it there. It's a little wrapped in spots, but that's all right. Get that string off of there. This is the front of it right there, so I'm going to put a pretty bow right in the very front. Let me sit it right here off of my hand. Get it off of my hand, and we'll take some more of this. Let's get this off to the side. And let me just get a bunch. We're just going to take it. Make a bow. Cut it. Take this. Make another bow. Put them together. Close enough. It's going to be a wacky little bow. Get that out of the way. to tie them together. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That ain't gonna work. Okay, let me try this again. Pull them all undone. We're gonna do them all together at one time. We got 3 of them here. That's how I should have done it in the first place. Much easier. Get them all the same. And that's just a little too long on that side, so we'll cut that off. And this is my front right here, so I'm going to take this. Put me a hunk of glue right there. I'm going to try to hold these down just a little bit together on the side till it gets a little stuck in the glue. There we go. Yeah, don't want a big hunk of glue sticking out in the front. So now we got a pretty little bow on it. I've got to go back under the bottom of it and put more Mod Podge. I'm trying to wait for that to dry. See how it's looking? It's starting to get dry. It's starting, you can see like little dried spots in areas where it's crackledy looking. It's going to be so pretty when it dries, guys. But it's going to take it a while. It's not something that we're going to sit around here and wait for. I'm going to post you a picture when it gets all dry and complete, and you'll be able to see what it looks like at that point. But for now, this is where we're at. This is how it looks. It's going to be very pretty when it's dry. I'll post you a picture real soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.